Good to talk to you, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, before we get started, first things first,
Mhm.
you and I are born on the exact same day, exact same year.
The 6th of November, 79?
I thought you were 3rd of November.
I'm joking, I'm joking.
You got me, mate. I was like, what? What? The
That's
internet
cool.
doesn't lie to me. Yeah, no, 81, right?
Yeah. 81, November 3rd.
That's the one. Isn't that weird?
Is it? That's pretty cool.
It is cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
It's the same, but well, Stephen Wilson's the 3rd of November, but he's older than us, and I kind of remind him of that every time I talk to him. But probably that's why he doesn't like me mentioning it.
Yeah.
But there you go. But hey man, that's I'll send you a birthday message on your birthday. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But in the meantime, dude, Katatonia are coming back to Australia in support of your latest album, Sky Void of Stars. And it's been a little while since we've seen you boys. It's been about 7 or 8 years, I believe.
8 years, I think.
Phew, a long time, man. It's gone quick. But
Has it though?
no.
No.
I'm just lying to myself here. But I mean, obviously you're excited about coming all the way back down here and hanging out with us?
Yeah, it's been a good while, 2 albums since.
Hmm.
And I mean, going to Australia isn't something people get to do. People are from Sweden don't get to do very often. So just just coming back is very exciting. I'm coming back with 2 albums. I'm doing a proper headline set. We're
Hmm.
aiming for a longer set this time. It's we're all very stoked. I mean, we don't really love flying that much, so that's a bit of work, but yeah, it's all gonna be so worth it.
How was that last tour here? I mean, was that your first visit to Australia personally, or had you
Yeah,
been here before?
no, first time.
Wow, man.
And I mean, it's so weird because I think we had the last time we came, I think you guys were in what? When was it? January, maybe? January, February or something?
Oh,
So
dude.
you guys still had Christmas tree up, I think, but it was like 40 degrees Celsius. So that's tricky. I mean, I have snow raining away right now and it's cold. And in a week I'm leaving for first the cruise,
Mm.
70,000 tons, then Japan and then Australia, and then back to hopefully some early spring or something. So just coming to Australia is very exciting just because it's so different. Same time it's not. It's like being in it's some sort of mixture between Sweden and US,
Yeah.
like mentally, which is pretty cool.
But I will say this, man. Make sure you bring board shorts or some kind of shorts. We are having one
Mhm.
of the most brutal summers. Today, it hit so hard. The heat was so bad
Really?
that
Oh.
we lost power at
Oh
my day
no.
job. Yeah, at my day job. Man, we're like, well, how do we fix this? And it's bad, man. Stuff's melting and it's the Australian right in the heart of that Australian summer. So make sure don't put off that.
No leather jacket then.
No, no. If you
Fine.
do, I mean, there are people that do, and then they instantly regret it, especially wearing jeans when you come off the plane because you've been somewhere cold, and you'll just be like,
Yeah.
this is why. Why did I do this to myself?"
Life is for living, man, and for regrets.
Just trying to look out for you, mate. Just trying to look
Yeah,
out.
I appreciate it.
But of course, Sky Void of Stars turned 1 recently, and you've been touring around the world behind it, and been playing quite a few tracks from it, like Austerity and Colossal Shade, and no, I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but I had a bit of a peek at Birds. But how you been finding the response to it? I mean, it's a little rockier. I love it. I think it's sick. How do you think it's going to go?
I mean, yeah. When we started making the album and recording it, and also when it was released and we heard the final product and started playing the songs, for me, it's always been some sort of continuation from Great Cold Distance, Night is a New Day. It's more dense than City Burials. It's less proggy than Fall of Hearts. It's more like a live album. Like almost all the tracks are meant to be played live, and we're definitely feeling that because we're running a fair amount of songs from the new album, and they're all really getting good response from the crowd and have been from day one, which is very exciting because getting the response we usually get when we play tracks like July, Forsaker, My Twin, the old classics, and feeling the same energy from the audience when we play Colossal Shade or Opaline, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's only been a year and there's no signs of any of that letting up. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
When you play these songs live, do you take, some liberties as a drummer by throwing some little extra stuff here and there, some little fills and stuff, or do you sort of keep it on point for the rest of the boys, to click or backing tracks? Like how far do you take it as a drummer? Because I know drummers like to get outside that comfort zone.
I mean, I usually change things up a bit from after recording it. Like it's the same with the old Cat songs. I take what's recorded as some sort of template for what I'm going to do, and then I add or subtract and change small things to create like a live version of that song that resonates with my drumming and that we can build on as a band. But like changing things up every night as a drummer, I don't really do that. I find things I wanna do live that I didn't want to do on the album or didn't realize I could or whatever. But for the shows themselves, I pretty much keep it simple and keep it the same way, but it's not exactly how I did it on the album generally.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll be in Brisbane. I'll be at the Brisbane show. I can't wait to see you guys play.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good, man. And one thing I did want to know, look, Jonas, he spearheads most of the writing for Katatonia, but I do believe, Lant, correct me if I'm wrong, that you co-wrote the lyrics for Wide Awake in Quietus from Fall of Hearts, the bonus. Is that right?
That is true, actually. Yes, I wrote those lyrics for the bonus track.
So have you contributed to the latest album in that capacity, or is it something that you're interested in doing more for the band? Like, how far does
No,
that go?
not really. I mean, I think they were going to record vocals on that track, and they didn't have any lyrics. So Anders just messaged me like the night before or the day before, and just asked if I wanted to do lyrics on that song. And I was, sure, let's do it. But it's not something like that I really do. I've been writing lyrics for bands I've been in and for other stuff for pretty much my entire life. I like writing. I like language in general. But writing lyrics for Cat, it's not my place, if you can call it that. I mean, Jonas is doing all of the writing, and that's why it's as good as it is. I don't feel that I want to or need to infringe on that. If I would be asked to contribute, I would obviously do it, but I'm also fine without doing it.
Okay, cool. But I mean, this is your third album with the band and been with them for quite a while now. You probably didn't see that question. Like, I'm not the new guy anymore, dudes. But but the band were already 9 albums in by the time that you joined. it is a question that I'm interested in. Was that intimidating at the time? And how long did it sort of take you to really settle in to feel like you're one of the guys, like you probably do feel now?
I mean, I was a fan of the band from the first album. I
Mm.
bought it a couple of months after release. So obviously I was pretty pretty into the band musically, and I knew of the guys since being a kid, basically. Um, and then I met the band on one of my old bands did a European tour supporting Paradise Lost in '09, and Kat was on the first week of that tour. So we started talking, me, Jonas, and Anders, and realized that they're a fair bit older than me, but we had the same references of what we listened to growing up and stuff. And so starting the journey to actually play with them and write new music with them and contribute in the band like that, that was pretty natural, because we all had the same what's the word, kind of the same starting point to why we started playing. So in that way, gelling with the band and gelling with the guys and the music wasn't that hard. Obviously, taking over Daniel's role as a drummer, he was a very respected drummer and still is.
Yes.
Playing wise, it wasn't intimidating, but I knew that I would be compared to him, and I still am. I mean, Jason Newsted was the new guy up until he left the band. But I wouldn't say intimidating, but it's been a process. And I think it was after the first European tour we did for Fall of Hearts.
Mm.
That was when I really felt that, okay, we're actually doing this together and I'm a big part of it. And that's when I think I actually made it my band instead of a band I'm playing with as the new guy. So I've not felt like the new guy for a fair bit of time now,
Yeah.
which is nice. I mean, people might disagree with that fact. I mean, I've only been in a band for, what is it now? My first shows was 10 years ago.
Isn't that
So
crazy? Where
yeah.
the fuck did that go?
I mean, we also lost like 40 years to the pandemic, so who
Yeah, I
knows?
know, right? So it doesn't, yeah, it sort of cuts that out, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
look, this next question, look, I totally understand if you don't want to answer it, but I've had quite a few people that I've seen want to know.
Mhm.
But is Anders going to be on this run with you? Is he doing okay? Have you spoken to him?
I haven't spoken to him in a while. I know he's at home taking care of himself and his family, and yeah, um, that's where we are right now. I want to say no comment, but that's too boring. Um, but yeah, he's taking some time off for personal reasons and will not be coming to Australia with us, sadly.
That's totally understandable. Because I just know I do know on some of the groups that people are sort of been asking and want to know, obviously because they love the band and it's out of concern. But I know it's also a privacy thing as well. It's like, where's that line
Exactly.
between, being someone's favorite band and having that private life where you've got to take care of stuff as well? I mean, it's like I'm sorry if I had to put you on the spot there, but I've had people bug me about it. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question. I mean, he's not been playing for with us for a good while, and we haven't released any statements regarding that because, I mean, we have no statements regarding that.
mm,
He's in the band. He's not doing the shows with us, and because of, well, pretty crass financial reasons, we're not able to have a session guitarist. because it's expensive, and we're not able to have that. So we have other technical solutions to deal with that issue, and those have been working great for the big majority of people coming to our shows.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah.
I don't know, man. If you do, just tell him, maybe send him a message and say that the fans are thinking of him and care about him very much and hope he's doing okay. Because a lot of people in the groups have been saying that. So,
Oh yeah.
Of course, you know, you did mention before you're going to play the boat cruise, the big metal boat cruise, 70,000 tons of metal next week. And I can't believe that's coming quick. That's a dream of mine to go on. You know, do you like playing those shows? You don't get seasick while you're playing? I played on a boat once and it was a weird experience.
I don't get seasick, and I have played the boat once before. I think 2015 or 16. It is weird. It's a different kind of show entirely.
Mm.
It's a good experience. I mean, hanging out on the boat, meeting people, meeting fans. That's in a setting that's not a venue or outside the bus or something. That's pretty cool. But playing a show on a boat, I'm playing like a reduced set list. We're playing two shows, one on the way there and one on the way back. It's tricky. It's a different thing, but it's all good fun. And we're using the boat as well as a sort of stopover when we're flying to Japan and then Australia. So the boat might be the last bit of relaxing I'll get done after flying out from Stockholm on Sunday.
Are there any other bands that you're looking forward to catching up with? You know, your mates and other bands drinking some margaritas by the pool and getting up to no good.
I mean, I think we have a rule on the boat that we're only gonna drink umbrella drinks.
Uh,
So that'll be interesting. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing My Dying Bride are playing. I've never seen My Dying Bride live, so that's gonna be really cool. Um, I know Nile are playing. That's gonna be cool.
oh,
But I'm not really. I haven't really looked at the lineup. Sodom are playing. Sodom is one of my absolute favorite bands, so I'm gonna watch them, of course. But yeah, I don't really know. I think
man.
what I'll go wherever the umbrellas take me.
That's gonna, hey, you know what? Maybe that's a good way of doing it. You just don't know who it is, and you're just gonna be walking down the aisles, and your mates from another band will, you know, you'll bump into them. They're like, "What are you doing? Let's go get some beers." Yeah, no worries, let's do it. No, we're
Yeah.
just drinking all the drinks. Okay, so yeah, but one day I'll go. One day I'll do it. But
Oh yeah.
of course, another question I had that someone threw at me was that you were part of the project Hate for a minute and recorded the album. I can't even pronounce the name. In Horror Mortis Nostre.
Not great. Yep.
That's my see. Everything in Australian sounds awful. Um, it's all backwards, man. You know, and that was released on Peter Stormare's Stormvox label. Now, I'm a big fan
Mhm.
of him. I think he's one of the best actors around. How was that experience? Not only working with that project, but dealing with him on that label side.
I mean, I didn't really. I worked with Lord K and Mike, the bass player, who also played with me in a band called Engel.
Hmm?
Um, so those were really the guys I worked with. I didn't have any touch with Peter or the label or anything. It was basically me doing a studio session, and I was supposed to do the next album as well, but I think something happened, or I didn't have time, or I don't remember. It was a fair amount of years ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was basically a studio session. And I was in the band for that period of time, and then I wasn't. So it's not more than that, really.
There you go. See, I think he'd be an interesting dude, though. The more I hear
Oh,
about him, is he's a he's an interesting cat, that's for sure. That
oh
but
yeah.
mate, there you go, there you go. And are you? working on anything outside of Katatonia? Any projects you're excited about? Any solo stuff or?
I'm very cautiously working on some solo stuff, and I think this might be the second time I've said it out loud. So yeah, there it is. A year ago, I recorded the third album with Henrik Palm, who might be more famous from In Solitude, and he did some stuff with another bigger Swedish band. And that first single was released like a couple of days ago from that album. So that's very exciting. That's my second album I've done with Henrik, and it's very cool stuff. If you're into punk, heavy metal, no wave, and mixing it all together and listen to everything at once on an album, that's the album for you. And then I'm in a death metal band called Rune Magic. I've been in the band for over 20 years now, and we are slowly just churning out some death metal. We're not playing live anymore. We had a new album released last year, but that's also we live in different cities. We don't ever rehearse, so that's not really an active project. But it's a band. I mean, and yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Cat takes up a lot of time now, and we're in the new album cycle still. So yeah.
And are you working on a new album already yet? Are you got ideas? Has Jonas sent through anything? You know, do you know where it's heading musically next?
Depends on who's asking.
Your best
No,
mate, mate. Your best mate, Nev. Yeah, we have the same birthday, mate. We're practically twins. You know,
that is true. That is
Schwarzenegger
true, yeah.
to my DeVito. I am like your yeah.
there might be something being created, perhaps at some point in time that might be now, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No comment. No
All
comment.
right. All right. Keep it.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to see you. The tour's coming up so fast. I mean, I remember when the poster got released last year. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And now I'm looking at it going, oh man, I gotta get my money ready for the merch and all that kind of stuff.
Get your stretches then.
So excited.
Yeah.
You gonna bring some vinyl down with you too? Do you guys bring vinyl on the tours?
We won't bring any, I don't think. I don't know if we're having anything shipped over. I hope so. I really hope so. I know that the merch is being locally printed. It usually is.
Yes.
So that will be cool.
Because I do want to get the new one on vinyl.
Oh yeah.
I mean, down here sometimes, you know, it's like we'll find the CDs, but vinyl is a little trickier to get for some reason. Maybe because we're at the arse end of the world. But
oh yeah.
hey man, if you bring it,
and it's getting so expensive now. Like printing and shipping is insane. I actually stopped buying vinyl because of shipping costs. It's insane.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey man, I paid what an album last year, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. That's super cheap. And then the shipping was more expensive than the actual record.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh, cool. Just take my firstborn. That's cool. No worries. just do that then. But mate, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We're gonna have all the links down in here in the show notes and on the website. Take care, man. Hey, drink all the beers and the margaritas on that shit for me, and think about your brother Nev down in Australia.
Oh, I will.
Awesome. Hey,
Thanks for having me.
No worries. I'll see you in Brisbane, bro. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.